What is up, my friends? We are back with Wednesday's late night news roundup, and we have a lot to discuss. We're going to be talking about the centre-back situation. LUKEBA, is he for sale or isn't he? Leipzig seem to be changing their mind. Will we move for a Mark A soon? We should do, because of course we've lost Jarell Quansah. We're going to be telling you that Bayern Munich refused to give up on Luis Diaz, and they haven't been deterred by Liverpool's stance. And then we're going to ask the question, will we see Harvey Elliott move to Newcastle, as a bid from them could be forthcoming soon? That and lots more to come up over the next few minutes, but you know what I'm going to say. I'll talky talk, hopefully you typey type, and then like you like. Sorry, I just didn't want to bore you with the same intro. And also, ladies and gentlemen, our last ever stage show is taking place Sunday, the 19th of October, at our home in Liverpool, the Hot Water Comedy Club. We're going to take to the stage for one last time. Tickets are priced at just £15. That's 1-5. It is an all ages event, and it is also the weekend of the Manchester United game. So if you want to come and see us, we'll have a musical act on stage. We'll be accompanied by Steve, Chris, Jack, and of course myself as well. It will be a memorable night, and one that will see us sign off from doing stage shows. We'd love to see you there. Right, let's get going with the news. So, LUKEBA, what is the stance? Well, it depends on what publication you read. So, on one hand, there are reports that he is available for less than a €90 million release clause in his contract, and that there's a gentleman's agreement that he could be sold for less this summer. Kind of sounds a bit like Victor Gyökeres, right? Then on the other side of it, you've got a report from Bill that say that he's not for sale this summer, and that both parties, the player and Leipzig, believe that he'd be best served by having one more season there. Now, they have no Champions League football to look forward to next season, so I do think that they are probably going to have to sell some players. Doesn't look like at this moment in time Arsenal are going to pay them what they're asking for Benjamin Šeško, so will we see LUKEBA sold this summer? I'm not sure, but we do need to get cracking, because today, of course, Jarell Quansah's move to Leverkusen was made official. So Liverpool right now have a space for a centre-back, and we got to get moving here. Will it be Mark A? Well, that may come down to the price that Crystal Palace are asking. I think you may see him in a Liverpool shirt, but we do have to get moving on that very soon, because we're now one man down. Now, one man who is now officially a free agent, and I don't think he's going to be coming to Liverpool, but Leo Messi is now officially a free agent. He is allowed to negotiate with any club, according to reports coming out of Argentina. So there you go. What are you saying? Leo Messi to the Premier League? No, not to Liverpool anyway, but Man City? You never know. A little reunion with Pep? I don't know. Don't know what happens with him, but I think if I was a betting man, I'd say he might try to find a way to stay in Miami, but let's wait and see. Right, Bayern Munich, Luis Diaz. We told you that they weren't deterred by the price, and that's exactly what this post from Transfer Sector says. Bayern Munich remain strongly interested in Luis Diaz and are undeterred by Liverpool's stance. Diaz is a top priority, and that is from Bild as well over in Germany. Now look, Liverpool's stance on this has been kind of twofold. One, he's not for sale. But secondly, he might be for sale if Saudi money comes in and it gives Liverpool's valuation. And for what it's worth on this one, I get the feeling, and again, it is just a gut feeling, that Liverpool just don't want to sell to a Champions League rival. So whether it's Bayern Munich, Barcelona, the stance would be not for sale. Perhaps, though, if a Saudi Pro League club like Al Nassr were to come to the table, Liverpool would look at that a little bit differently. Now, what I can say is what Lucho thinks about this. Remember, there was a report earlier on from the boys in the Echo that said, despite the reports of low wages for Diaz, Liverpool have been briefing that he's on about £140,000 per week. So certainly a more than fair wage in my opinion, if that's the case. Let me know what you guys think happens there. So, Thomas Muller, he's been speaking a little bit about Florian Wirtz, and he has high hopes for him. This is what he had to say. I think Florian will fit in anywhere. He's not only a very good footballer, but also his mentality is very strong. Now, I did promise you a little bit of news on Newcastle's interest in Harvey Elliott, and Lee Ryder, who I think writes for the Chronicle up there in Newcastle, said Newcastle can land Liverpool star Harvey Elliott for as little as £40 million this summer. Elliott is eager to sign for a club that can offer Champions League football. Now, what we do know is, yes, that £40 million valuation is there if there's a release clause in it. But if Liverpool are to sell to Newcastle, who I'm sure they would look at as a rival, I don't know if I don't know if they'll be getting him for that without the release clause in it. But either way, could I see a scenario where he ends up at Newcastle? Well, yes, because Eddie Howe's been a long-term admirer of Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey would fit in really well up in Newcastle. I think the Geordies would love him. Weirdly, I can also see him in a Newcastle shirt in my mind, which always helps me with these things. I don't know why, but it does. So yeah, I think there's a possibility this one could happen. Obviously, Harvey's not going to have any shortage of options. Player of the tournament in the under-21 Euros. Really, really good form at the minute. And again, unfortunate that the situation in Liverpool is the way it is. But I can see a world where he ends up at Newcastle if they pay the money. Let me know what you guys think. I would actually say you may see a bid from Newcastle soon enough for Harvey Elliott, because again, they're going to want to get cracking in the summer transfer market. And if Elliott's willing to go to Newcastle, then we could see this one happen. Right, let's move on to Napoli a little bit and a bit more around the Darwin Núñez situation. So this report from Mattino di Napoli said, in the last few hours, Napoli have reopened negotiations with Liverpool for Darwin Núñez. Núñez would love to come to Napoli. However, Liverpool's stance remains the same. The champions want 65 or 70 million pound. Now, we ran a poll tonight on the channel where we asked, is Liverpool's valuation of Darwin Núñez too high at 70 million pound? And 70% of people said yes, the valuation is too high. But ultimately, if the club can get it, I don't think it matters to Liverpool if that 70 million pound comes from Napoli or if it comes from Saudi Pro League. They just want the most money for a player. But of course, the player has to be open to a move as well. Sticking with the Saudi Pro League just for a second, Ben Jacobs gave an update earlier on to say the Saudi Football Federation has agreed to bring forward the summer transfer window for Saudi Pro League clubs. It will now open on July the 3rd instead of July the 20th and is planned to shut September the 10th. So we could see, well, offers start to come in very quickly for the likes of Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and I'm sure a whole host of other Premier League and European players. The window will be open tomorrow, so they can get cracking. And also Al Hilal over the Club World Cup, they could reinforce a little bit further if they wanted to, much like Chelsea about to do with João Pedro. So that's kind of where we're at the minute, ladies and gentlemen. But we also asked the question tonight, if Liverpool signed Hugo Ekitike, would you be happy? And again, overwhelmingly, I think it was about 72% of people said yes, they would be happy if Liverpool signed Hugo Ekitike. There was a report earlier on as well that suggested that Liverpool have offered Napoli Darwin, Chiesa, and 17 million pound to try and sign Victor Osimhen. I don't know if I believe that or not, but let me know what you guys think on it. Other than that, of course, we had the changes behind the scenes of the AXA today. We've seen Xavi Valero come back in as the goalkeeping coach as Taffarel departs, and of course Otta departs as well. We'd also seen the confirmation that Giovanni van Bronckhorst is now one of Arne Slot's assistants alongside Sipke Hulshoff, again replacing the outgoing Johnny Heidinger, who of course became Ajax's new head coach. That is it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but as always, we will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll have a video out at about 4:30, 5:15, a stream at 8:45, and a late night video as well. Until then, thank you for watching. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.